Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome once again. It's a delight to be sharing together Divrei Torah, Divrei Aliyah, Divrei Avodas Hashem with HaKadosh Baruch Hu's kindness and help. Be'ez Hashem, we shall be zeicha to steig and grow and bring the Shechina into the world in our own special way. Be'ez Hashem, we'd like to touch upon a topic, Mitzvah Hashem, to have a series of few parts discussing of improving relationships, things we could do to create more meaningful, pleasant, positive ksharim, connections with the people around us, and through developing that koiches hanefesh that's inherent within us, to also develop a better and closer relationship with Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Avinu Shebashamayim, who loves us so much. So perhaps today, to discuss a certain element, an aspect, which has tremendous power to change the flow of relationships, to improve the ksharim we have with all the people around us, those that are near and dear, spouses, children, and neighbors, friends, co-workers, really every person that we interact with in our life. And we have the ability to create so much more positivity in our life. It's really, in its essence, a simple idea, but there's much, much depth and profundity buried within it. So Be'ez Hashem, let's begin. We know we have a bracha that Kohanim make when they do the mitzvah Birchas Kohanim. In the days where we had the Beis Hamikdash, Kohanim did the Avodah, Akrovas Karbanos, the Tmidim, the Musaf and Karbanos Tzibur, the vast amount of Karbanos Yachid, Toida, Chatas, Asham, Shlomim, Oila, so on and so forth. They did the Lechem Aponim, the Menorah, the Aktoras HaKtoires, and so on and so forth. Besides that, the Kohanim also had a mitzvah of Koisavarchu as Bnei Yisrael Emor Lahem, to give Klal Yisrael a bracha. And although we are unfortunately today still missing the Beis Hamikdash, but the second chelik of their avodah of Birchas Kohanim is still Chaim till today in America and Chutz La'aretz. And many places in Eretz Yisrael, we only do it on Yomim Tovim. There's an added level of simcha, but in Yerushalayim and other cities, we do it even every day in Eretz Yisrael. Edot HaMizrach, Sfardim, do it also even in Chutz La'aretz every day. Kifi the Mechaber. But Al Kopanim, we have a mitzvah Birchas Kohanim. By every bracha, where Kohanim are fulfilling, where any Yid is fulfilling a mitzvah that's incumbent upon him, the standard Nusach HaBracha is Baruch Ato Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kiddushanu B'mitzvos V'tzivanu Al Ole Al Natilas Lulav Lahadlik Ner Shel Chanukah Al Natilas Yadayim, and so on and so forth. The bracha is Asher Kiddushanu B'mitzvos. We thank you, Hashem, for the schus you gave us to do this mitzvah, the extra kedusha. By the bracha of Birchas Kohanim, there are two interesting diyukim in the bracha. The first one is the fact that we don't just say Asher Kiddushanu B'mitzvos V'tzivanu Al, but we preface it Asher Kiddushanu B'Kedushasoi Shel Aharon. The fact that a kohen, as opposed to every other Yid, is standing up and giving a bracha to Klal Yisrael, to all the other Yidden in Shul, Asher Kiddushanu B'Kedusha, because I have something special, Asher Kiddushanu B'Kedushasoi Shel Aharon. It's not just that, like, not everybody's mitzvah, only your mitzvah, but no, because I have something special that, so to say, enables me to be the one to do this bracha. Davar Rishon, first diuk. Second diuk, the end of the bracha finishes off B'tzivanu levarech es amo Yisrael be'ahava. Asher Kiddushanu B'Kedushasoi Shel Aharon B'tzivanu levarech es amo Yisrael be'ahava, with love. Where does that come from? The pasuk doesn't say that. Let's say I don't love. The bracha says, "Koisavarchu Bnei Yisrael Emor Lahem," give them a bracha. Where's that source of the bracha coming from? That it has to be dafka ba'ahava. So be'emes, there's a concept here that's really buried within the idea of giving a bracha, which is a very broad-ranging thing. It's true for everyone in every place. There's a difference between a tefillah, davening for someone, or a bracha, giving someone a bracha, benching someone. A tefillah, source is compassion. A bracha source is ayin toiva. There's a difference what's happening if I'm benching you, or I'm davening for you. Tefillah's source is that I feel bad for you. I want things to be better for you, so I daven for you. A bracha's source is ayin toiva, that I see good in you. Let's explain. Somebody, Rachman Nebuch, doesn't have a job. And money's very difficult. They're having a hard time paying their mortgage, paying their electric bill, putting bread on the table, children's tuition, clothing, food, etc., etc. I could feel bad for them. My heart goes out to them. They're having a hard time. They're struggling. And I daven, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please open up for them Shai Shemayim, bless them. He should get a job. His wife should get a promotion. Let them have a revach. It's hard. I feel bad for them. Option 1. That's a tefillah. Option 2 is based on a different thing. I see that you're a great guy. When you're stuck in a position without money, you can't do all the things that you want to do. You're being stunted. You're being constricted. And that's a pity. Because I see in you have so much more to give. What a chaval. The world is losing out by you being stuck in a tight place where you can't move and you can't do things. If you would have money berevach, you'll do great things. You'll be nice. You'll be nice to your wife. You'll be nice to your kids. You'll be nice to give tzedakah organizations. You'll do so much good. So I'm giving you a bracha. Hashem should help you sort of to maximize your potential, to be able to thrive and do what you need to do. That's the source of giving you a bracha. The emes is that this concept is a pasuk. The pasuk says, Toiv ayin hu yivarach. In order to give someone with a good eye, he's the one that should give a bracha. Because in order to truly give you a bracha, I have to be able to be that I see the good within you, and I'm benching you that should all come out to the fore. That should have a place to get expressed. You should be able to actualize you should have the opportunity, the environment to actualize all the good that's buried within you. This concept is also true. Let's give one more tiny mashal. Let's say someone doesn't have a shidduch, and they're older, and they're still looking for a shidduch 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I could daven for them. I feel bad. They're yearning to have their own home, their own family, the closeness, the warmth that a family brings, opportunities for chesed, and so on and so forth. So I could daven for them. Please, Hashem, help this person be zoicha to find his or her bashert, and begin building their life. Or I could give them a bracha. You're going to be an amazing husband and father. You would make a great wife and mother. How much the world is losing every day that you're not yet sharing life and you're not building your own home and bringing, every couple has their own unique, every boy and every girl have their own unique strengths and energy, and when they come together, they bring out the best from each other. You're losing out. It's chaval. So I give you a bracha. Hashem should help you. In other words, maximize, bring out all the good that's buried within you. This is true based on the Nefesh Chaim. Yodua says that the word bracha is based on the word brecha. The word brecha in modern Hebrew is translated as a pool, but it doesn't really mean like what we call a pool, a swimming pool, a pool of standing water. It really means like a spring, an underground source of water which is constantly flowing out and bubbling and giving out more and more. And giving someone a bracha is like you should be zeicha to give forth, to have the place to express all that good that you have within you. That's a bracha. I bench you. You should be able to do gevaldik. The source of a bracha is an ayin toiva. Toiv ayin hu yivarech, like we mentioned before. Memela, asher kitshanu, it doesn't have to say it in the pasuk. That is the way you give a bracha. Asher kitshanu b'kedushasei shalayim v'tzimanu l'varechas am Yisrael bi'ahava. Ahava means I want to give to you. I see the good in you. I want you to have good in your life because you're a great guy. You deserve it. Ahava, true ahavas. Yav, I want to give to you. If I'm blessing you that Hashem should give you, I have to feel that I want you to have. That's ahava. I see that you're a great guy. I love you. You're amazing, and I want you to have good. You can't give someone a bracha if you see in them negativity and they're not deserving of having. You could maybe daven for them, overcome your resistance to wanting to daven for them and daven for them. But you can't give them a bracha. The essence of bracha is ba'ahava. And memela, we also see, if you want to like use a mashal somewhere over here, an ayin toiva is like sort of the opposite of the idea, the concept that we are more, familiar with and hear about more often, which would be the concept of ayin hara. Ayin hara is what we call, most people associate the word ayin hara with jealousy. Give someone I know, like someone just bought a beautiful new car, and like you have an ayin hara, like you're jealous. It's not jealousy. It's associated, perhaps. It's not jealousy. If you wish you also had a nice car, that's like sachmaid. Ayin hara is you don't deserve to have it. That's ayin hara. Why do you have that and not me? You don't deserve it. You're not such a good guy. Oh, in Yiddish is the expression, ich vergint ihm nicht. Interestingly enough, in modern Hebrew, it's also a word which was taken from Yiddish, lefargen. Lefargen, I'm happy for you. Good for you that you have it. In Ayin Toiva, the source of Ayin Toiva is, it's good. I see if you're successful, if you're doing well, you're making money. So let's give an example over here. Imagine you have a girl who's 24, 25, 26. She's still waiting to find her bashert. Her next door neighbor comes back from seminary. She's 19 and a half. She comes back in June. And Baruch Hashem, in July, they break a plate. She became a kala. Now, obviously, sometimes seeing when someone else says, and it awakens within you the yearning that you have, and that could be a source of like, ouch, it hurts because I also wish I was a kala. That's normal, human beings. But if a person feels like, lama magia lahem, why did they have it and not me? That chas v'shalom would be an ayin hara. The power of an ayin toiva, and obviously goes without said, this is something we need to work on. It's not a yes or no question always. Sometimes we could feel this originally like, why her and not me? But it's an avodah to work on. Each person has their own life experience. I'm happy for her. She's a great girl. Good for her that she's a kala. Good for her she's going to be getting married and building her own home. Baruch Hashem. I'm happy for her. She deserves it. She's a good girl. That's ayin toiva. That's the power of an ayin toiva. Agav, whatever a person projects out to others ends up bouncing back to themselves as well. A person that gives to someone else an ayin toiva projects to them joy. I'm happy with your success. You deserve it. Good for you. So that energy bounces back to them as well. The ayin toiva they give to someone else empowers the other person, and it also comes back to radiate a light back to them to empower them. Someone that Rahman al-Itzlan allows themselves to stay there with a negative eye, negativity. Lama magia lecha. Why do you deserve to have that? You're such a tzaddik that you deserve that? Chas v'shalom. And again, it's working things through honestly. But someone that has that sense of resentment towards someone else's success, not only there's a power of ayin hara, which is brought down in Shulchan Aruch, there's a real thing called ayin hara that could cause, it's meiteach din, it could cause construction, wreak havoc, and create a problem by somebody else, Rahman al-Itzlan, because that's the power Hashem gave us of our eye, but it also bounces back to the person. Someone that has an ayin hara towards others, why does he deserve to have it? I'm not happy for him that he has it. I don't think you should have it. So it also causes chas v'shalom back din on yourself. It also causes constriction and stumbling, difficulty, not thriving, vibrant, energetic life energy to you yourself. If we could bring out this point in a certain way, what about if this 26-year-old girl, it's not her next door neighbor's 19-year-old daughter that got engaged 2 months after Sem, it's her younger sister. It's so close to home. In a certain way, there's no one we need to be happy for than our sister. In chas v'shalom, if a person is not oiska but does not worked out on this could be even a greater point of contention. Well, my little baby sister, I used to, I used to babysit for her when she's a kala, not me. Whoa, chas v'shalom. Where did Aaron earn to be the Kohen Gadol? Where did Aaron earn to be on the top of the pyramid of all the Kohanim? V'ra'acha v'samach b'liboy. Aaron wears the choshen ala liboy because v'ra'acha. Who was the one that was rising to the top? Who was the one that made it? Who is the one that's going to be the Goyal Yisrael, take Yidden out of Mitzrayim? His little brother, Moshe Rabbeinu. And in a certain way, that's the ultimate place where there's the ability to see the good in him because he's your little brother. And you can say, my Tyra, Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm so happy for you. Good for you. You made it. Wow. You're going to be taking it out of Mitzrayim. I'm so proud. I knew you had it in you. Gavaldik. Or chas v'shalom, if somebody struggles with this, it could be the place where it's the hardest. It's like the greatest test almost. And Aaron HaKohen passed it. V'ro'acha, Aaron is going to see your success. V'samach b'liboy. He's happy. Not just, I have to show you that I'm happy because I don't want to ruin your simcha. Be'emes, v'samach b'liboy. It could have been me. Aaron was a gadol adar also. But no, you, Moshe Rabbeinu, you made it. You're going to, wow, I'm happy for you. Good for you. You deserve it. You have so much potential. You're gavaldik. that bounced back. Then Aaron HaKohen, the ultimate Ayin Toiva, Aaron is the one that gives the bracha. He's the one that wears the Choshen Al Libai, V'nasa Shmoisam, when he goes Lifnei Hashem, because he has the Ayin Toiva to see. Of course, Hashem is so proud of his children. He wears the name of his children one of Hashem Yisbarach's children, when he goes LaKodesh to do the Avodah, because Aaron is the one that sees the beauty in them. And he knows Hashem is so proud of his children. Like, oh, Hashem's like covered up. Like, I don't want to, it's like, last night this guy did that and that did it. No, Aaron doesn't see that. Aaron sees the Ayin Toiva. Look how much they're steiging. Look how much they're growing. Look how much they're working on. Nobody's perfect. But he has the Ayin Toiva to see the good in people. And B'derech Melitza, I think also it says that when they asked the Shaila to the Kohen Gadol, the Urim V'Tumim, the letters of the names of the Shvatim lit up to give the answer. So that's why he's like to have the Urim V'Tumim, the Choshen HaMishpat Alibai, because that's the idea of lighting up. You want, like, to see the light, the glow. He is the one that has the power to see the glowing up of Klal Yisrael, to see their beauty, to see their good, to be proud of them. Rabbi say, it's interesting, but all of us in our life, relationships are such a huge impact. Peaceful, pleasant, happy relationships mean so much. And Rachmana litzlan, negative energy is so painful, so hurtful, destroys everything. And it's really pashut. It's almost superfluous to mention it, but it needs to be put on the table clearly. We're not innocent bystanders to the electricity of the relationships in our life. When a person gets married, he married a wife, and he thinks she's a great girl, and he likes her and everything. He chose to marry her. And like, what's going to end up playing out, though, after 5 years, after 10 years? I don't know if you're lucky, Baruch Hashem, like, you never really know till you get married, but if you're lucky, Baruch Hashem, she'll be great. And Hashem, like, some people got stuck. And do you play a part in that? Do you have a role in how it's going to end up working out, the relationship? Children. Some children are very goody-goodies from the day they're born. Some children are very, very troublesome. They like have a very independent and spunky spirit. But where are they going to end up? They were all created for different things. Where are they going to end up? Are they going to end up kefi their koichas hanefesh in a good place, doing for Klal Yisrael wonderful things? One kid, the studious kid, will maybe become a Rosh Hashiva. And the other kid is going to be a balabas who's involved in Tzarchit Tzibur and building organizations to help other Yidden that are B'tzar. Are they going to get to a good place? Is it just luck? Write your tuition check, send the kid to yeshiva. There's so much of an impact that we have on the people around us. Really, again, I'm saying it's like a davar pashut when you think about it. So in yeshiva, as boys, like, do you have a power? Do you have any input in how your wife is going to treat you one day? Nicely or not so nicely? Just like, I don't know, it depends who she is. You'll figure it out as time goes on. Or is there something? Well, the answer is really obvious. What do you mean? Of course. If you're kind, if you're respectful, if you're understanding, if you work to connect, to be empathetic, to be giving, to be loving, to be kind, to be supportive, yeah, nobody's perfect. But of course it generates back. I always ask people, do you have people in your life that you're nicer to than others? Why are you nicer to them? Because they're nice to you. Of course there's a dynamic, but I want to share with you that this is something which is even precedes that. It's deeper. It's an essential thing, even before how you talk to them and what you say to them. The power of our eye. The power of our eye. In davening, we say an expression in Nishmas. To us, we perceive eyes that take in light. But we're saying here, our eyes give out light. There's an energy that we project onto the people around us by how we see them. Before you open your mouth, before you give a bracha, the essence, just like we know a person can give an ayin hara without saying anything, is if he looks and he's feeling jealous and resentful, whatever, why do you deserve it? It could chas v'shalom create damage to the person he's looking at. The power of an ayin toiva, to see good in the people around us. The avoida, every human being has so much wonderful goodness in themselves. For a husband to see the good in his wife, for a woman to see the beautiful goodness in her husband. Nobody's perfect. Doesn't mean to be naive and live in a fantasy land. No, I know the truth. I just see the beautiful goodness. That's how I define him. Like the Welt says, the Mashal, you can go to the most beautiful palace in the world, but if you walk around the back, there's going to be a big smelly garbage bin with all the junk they throw out every day. What do you choose to see about the palace? And it's true. The power of an ayin tova, seeing the good in the people around us, empowers them. It brings out their goodness. When somebody is believed in, when we look at somebody, we project an energy onto them. And if we see good in them and we believe in them, you're great. You're wonderful. I want to tell you something interesting. One of the yeshivas where I teach for Bachrim that are struggling, working to come back to Yiddishkeit, wonderful Bachrim. But when they come, they don't appreciate Yiddishkeit so much. Many of them went through very hard times in the past. And I remember this once, a Bachar said to me, it was around Pesach time, a boy that came, he was in first year yeshiva, and Pesach time, he said to me this, he posed to me the following question. He said, Rabbi, I know why you like us now, but why did you like us at the beginning of the year? Baruch Hashem, now they're coming to davening most of the time. They're learning. They got much more in touch with themselves. They have much more inner peace. They understand themselves. They're respectful. They're helpful. They're kind. But a lot of these boys, when they come at the beginning of the year, they're in pain. They feel lost, confused. And they're getting drunk and acting silly or obnoxious sometimes and disrespectful. Right? And he said to me, Rabbi, I know why you like us now, but why did you like us at the beginning of the year? And it just popped out of me. Sometimes, like, the words come out of your mouth, you don't even think about saying them, they just burst forth. And I said back to him, I said, because I saw in you at the beginning of the year the person you are now. And I think it's true. To be able to see deeper, to be able to see the core of who you really are. When you're acting silly, I know, because you're just escaping your pain. When you're acting obnoxiously, it's because you're in pain. Like, I see really inside of you, there's a beautiful core of a beautiful person. And I'm thinking now that part of the reason why he ended up there, Pesach time, is because somebody saw it in him at the beginning of the year. We empower the people around us by seeing the good in them. The emes is that this is really based on a pasuk I heard from a Heilige Rebbe, Reb Feivel Kohn, so sein gesund and stark, maybe has some Shonaklai, so should be zeicher to keep having him. Should lead us to greet Mashiach. But he said, the Ramban says on the psukim, it says, V'yar lekim as kol asher asa v'hinei toiv ma'od, by everything Hashem created, V'yar lekim ki toiv, V'yar lekim ki toiv. And the Ramban says that there was the original Yetzirah, the creation that Hashem made of every Asara Mamaros, of creating everything that exists in the universe, and the ability after the original creation, we know it's an ongoing, constant input of Hashem's energy into all the Bria. That re'iyah, that Hashem looked at his world, and he said, Toiv ma'od, it's good, I like it. Yesh po mashu tov. He sees the, with all the tzaras, and with all the, Hashem sees the tachos, the mechuven, he sees the good, the pnimius of it, that it's good. That's what keeps it going. That's its kiyum. That's what gives it its life energy to keep on going. And the emes is, every human being is blessed with this power as well. Just like we're blessed with the power of speech, we could give someone a bracha with our mouth. Hashem should bench you. You should be healthy and happy and build a beautiful home. And this huge koyach and the power of our bracha. Chas v'shalom. A person also has the power for klala, knowing stories. Chas v'shalom, a person could speak and wish evil upon him, could focus on the chasarn he sees in someone, and because of that, wish him evil, and chas v'shalom bring destruction to the other person's life, even before dibur. Even just with machshava, re'iyah and machshava, the power we have to look at others around us and see the good in them. And really the source of the speech is going to be what we see. We should be expressing what we see when we give someone a bracha, when we give a child or a spouse a compliment, tell them something positive. You're such a nachas. I'm so proud of you. Good for you. You did a great job. Pointing out their strengths, seeing their strengths, believing in them, empowers them to go on to do beautiful things. I want to end Mamash with one last Gemara, which I think brings us out. It's such a beautiful pshat and a way to see it and to realize how much we have the ability to change the people around us just by our developing our ayin tova, by learning to see the good, believing in people, seeing their good, seeing their koiches, seeing the good that they're doing, focusing on what's happening inside of them. The Gemara says, B'marava, when a person would get married, Amri lei, matzah imoitze. And the Chazal tell us, the Gemara says, matzah isha matzah toiv, or moitze aniyas or isha marmi moves. a person that's married to a wonderful, good wife, a spouse, it brings a shechina into the home, all kinds of bracha. It's matzah isha, matzah toiv. You found a woman, you found goodness, everything, shleimus, the positivity of living a life of gashmias that's filled with kedusha, so on and so forth. Or chas v'shalom, moitzi aniyus isha mami mavas chas v'shalom in a home with the discord and there's no harmony and there's aggravation and conflict and confrontation and fighting. There's so much pain. Chas v'shalom, moitzi aniyus isha mami mavas. So the Chofetz Chaim asks that how could you ask that to a person? It's lashon hara. You're asking him, like who did you marry? Matzah isha matzah toiv. Like what kind of lady did you marry? So Chofetz Chaim says it's lashon hara, and he has his answer. But I want to ask you, even before the Chofetz Chaim, is it only a question of Hilchas Isser Lashon Hara? Like somebody who's a guy who doesn't learn Chofetz Chaim. So he would go to someone by his wedding and tell me, what about the lady you're marrying? Is she a good person or not? First of all, the night of his wedding, of course he thinks she's wonderful. That's why he's marrying her. Maybe come back in 10 years, we'll find out if things didn't play out the way he dreamed. But right now, of course he thinks she's wonderful. Aleph. Beis, it's just like so, what we call socially off. You go over to a guy and ask him, oh, by the way, the lady you're marrying, is she a nice person? Bug out of my business. Like, get out. Like, hello? Mind your own business. How do you go ask a person that question? The emes is, the Gemara says, not that they asked him. The Gemara says, Amri lei. They said to him, they're telling him something, not asking him something. And what they mean to telling him is, this same woman that you're standing with under the chuppah one day, you're at a crossroads in life. In 10 years from now, I could ask you again, how's life? How's married life? And you could say, I'm the luckiest man in the world. I married such a wonderful person. She's kind, she's giving, she's so hardworking, she does so much. She's tzniistic, she's ehrlich, it's such a joy. Or I could ask you in 10 years, so how's married life? I'm going to say, oy, like one day I'll go to, get kaparas avaynos remote. Like, what caused that? This same person is going to end up either there or there, and it's dependent upon you. We're telling a husband, this, you have the power to bring out all the beautiful goodness that's inherent in the woman you're choosing to marry tonight. You could see the good in her. You could believe in her. You could be understanding of her struggles when she does things wrong and make a mistake and be encouraging and forgiving. Adarabba. Bring out the best in her by having an ayin tova. Where one day when I'm going to ask you in 10, 15, 20 years, you're going to say, Gan Eden. Matzah isha matzah tov. You created it by seeing the good in her. In that very same woman, if chas v'shalom, you choose to focus on the negative and you allow yourself to get caught up in seeing the imperfections, which everyone in the world has, and you focus on them and you're disappointed with her and you're critical, chas v'shalom, ouch, you're going to destroy her. You're going to break her. And then one day it's going to be the bitterness, the fighting, the pain, the uncomfortability, the sadness. Chas v'shalom. Obviously, it's a big topic. But Rabbi say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we need to be able to understand and appreciate and recognize both ways. Obviously, chassan to a kala to a chassan. To be able, the more we have an ayin tova, the more we see the good in the people around us, the more we focus on, appreciate, recognize, and feel the power, like we energize them by seeing the good of them. We should be zoicha. And through this, I would just say also, through this, it helps us to have an ayin tova towards Hashem and to Hashem's world. This training, this avodah that we do, to be happy for the people around us, to see how good they are, helps us also to have a deeper vision of the world around us. How Hashem's world is so filled with kindness, because Rabbi is doing so much for so many people, so much chesed. We live a life of ayin tova. We bring blessing, thriving, vitality, energy, chiyus to the whole world. We should be zeicha b'karav mamish, to see the Or Chodesh al Tzion Torah, to see the light of Hashem fill the world from end to end. Together we should all go to greet Mashiach and dance together in the Beis HaMikdash. B'mheira b'yameinu, amen v'amen. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.